Hello guys, how are you? Today we are talking about the side view mirrors of the Alfas 156. Sometimes you may notice the side view mirrors sometimes get loose. They don't stop on the middle as they're supposed to. And on this video I'll try to give you an idea or two how to solve the problem without spending any money. So on my Alfa 156 that did not happen yet, but what usually happens is it does not stay on the middle, it just wobbles about, and also may rattle. This is rattling here, and I can also give you a tip or two for that. So another thing that I'm curious about to know about your opinion, I am doing lots of videos inside my Alfa room. It is over there if you are curious. I don't know if you prefer that format. Sometimes it's easy to me to control light and sound and some other stuff to do there. If you don't like that format, please tell me. Although I am preparing here on this side a place to have a lot of lighting, a big bench over there with a big vise, but there is a little bit late. I am doing here the electricity. By the way, I do everything myself, and by the way, all of this work is not being sponsored by anyone, not even being paid by YouTube. Even though I have publicity on my Portuguese channel, it is not being paid. I don't have enough views yet to be paid on YouTube. So everything you see is my effort, it is my money, so to speak. I mean, it is not YouTube money, it is not your money, okay? So I'm doing a big space to work and also to record. I am preparing the light up there to do a really cool place to work properly, okay? So let's grab some tools and head out to my room to disassemble the mirror. I have a spare mirror, so we can work there. Oh, if you want to know how to remove the mirror from your Alfa 156, I can give you a tip for that in a minute. Let's just take out some tools. What do I have here? Always the screwdrivers. This is a very old toolbox that I had when I work in my parents' house. You may saw the video. I can leave you the link up there. Okay, so on the 156, it's really simple. If you want me to do a video about this, I don't think it's really all that hard, but you take out this triangle, this plastic triangle here, and you have 3 screws. We'll see it on the next clip. 3 screws and a plug. You take out those 3 screws, the plug, and the side view mirror is out. To take out the side mirror, as you can see here, the 3 bolt places. The bottom one on the car may be a bit difficult to remove because the door panel is a little bit high. But if you force a little bit the door panel down, you can remove the 10mm head bolts, the 3 bolts. Also remove the plug, and be careful because you have to hold on to the side mirror while you are removing the bolts. If not, the side mirror will fall. Now, at first glance, you look at the side mirror and you see these 3 bolts here. Immediately you want to go to these 3 bolts. Don't do that. That is not, you will take it out, yes, but not now. First of all, let's start with the most critical part. It is to remove the glass. How do we remove the glass safely? Well, my way of doing this is I push down on the bottom part here, the most as I can, to see in the upper part if I can see the plastic holder for the glass, because this glass is glued on to a holder, a round holder inside of this. So I will pick up a flat, large screwdriver, not very large on this way, but large on this way, and try to see if I can pry on plastic, not on glass. And I can see immediately one. Oh yeah, okay, nothing's broken, and as you can see, this has these 2 tabs here, those two tabs, and those two. You want to pry on here or here, for example, to try to take out this without breaking. Then you have these two wires. What is this for? These two wires are here to fog out the glass. When you push the button to defrost the rear glass of your car, this glass here also defrosts. It's the same button for the two things. So to take out these wires, you have to be careful not to damage that part there. So try to take out this, prying out on both ways like this, for example. In both ways I mean pushing down on this and pushing up on the wire at the same time, like this, for example. And put your glass on a safe spot. This is all original parts. And this is new. If you want to see, if you have a side mirror that is not assembled correctly, this is the chance to see how it is from factory. This is completely, almost completely untouched. I just disassembled this minutes ago to do the Portuguese video. Now, you want to take out the glass because you have here a Phillips screw head bolt. And inside there as well, but let's get to it. So you want to remove this one. Sometimes it's this broken part here that makes your side mirror shake. So the name of this thread in Portuguese is a mix. Sorry. Ta-da! It fell. Finally, the screw appeared. It was on the ground. This screw, in Portuguese, we call it a mixed thread. I don't know if that is in English, but it is this type of screw, of thread, I believe. So the next part is to remove those 3 bolts on the bottom side, or screws or bolts. I think it is bolts. The head, it is a T20 Torx. It's just not a very tight torque. It is not necessary. These screws here have a little detail that I want to talk to you about, and it is like this. If you ask yourself why does this screw it is not round, it is actually triangle in shape over there. That is on purpose. Nowadays on the German cars we see lots of that stuff on the, for example, on the door locks of the BMWs, on the smart cars, on the engine, on the entire engine actually. Why is that? On factory, instead of doing a hole in the thread, they actually just do a hole, the triangle shape of the bolt itself, that will do the thread. That is very nice until you want to retorque them a second time. Then you may have a stripped out thread. So when you are retorquing this, retorque it with not much force because it is fragile. So take out the screws to the side, and now you have the bottom, this bottom part here, the part that is stationary on the car. Take out this rubber protective thing. Beware that you have the hole for the wiring. Okay, to the side. And now the most important thing on this entire video is the passageway to this wiring. You have to make sure it is light, it is not binding on anything. And now when you take out this aluminium part, make sure to see where does the wiring passes, the harness. So as you can see, it actually has a hole on there, and you want to take out the aluminium part out to the side, and now you have another Phillips screw head over there. It is exactly the same as the one before, so you can switch them around if you are curious. Are exactly the same. And now you can take out the entire insides of the mirror. And at this point, you already will be having parts flying around inside here. Collect them all. What you will have inside of your rear view mirror, all disassembled, is one spring, one big spring, a thick washer, and this retaining clip. What you want to do is to collect them all again. This is the part that is stationary on your car. This is the part that holds up to this side part. And if you want to retrieve the mirror, what you want to do is to do this movement here. So this is the lock part of the mirror. You want to put that part in there, and then you want to put your spring, your washer, and your retaining clip. Why did the retaining clip came out in the first place? Well, it is just because of the movement, the hundreds of times of the movement of the mirror, it can come out. This retaining clip is mounted on that groove. I don't know if you can see that, but these small fingers are binding on that groove, and with the movement, eventually that will come out. So what you want to do is to put again this retaining clip, but a little bit to the side, because you may have damage on this upper part, and if you move it a little bit to the side, over there, you can reuse it again and again. Okay, so you have 3 tries or more to can reuse this part. How are you going to lock it in place again? I usually use this tool. This is a 23mm. You can use a 24. I think is even better than this one. And with the vise, you will lock it between this surfaces here and this surface, and squeeze it all the way until the retaining clip binds again on the groove. Simple as that. It's just this. And you can, in this way, you can actually compose this part again with 0 cents. And now it is a good idea to fill this up with synthetic grease. And why synthetic grease if it is only metal? Because you have the plastic part here next to this metallic part, and if you have contact of non-synthetic grease on this plastic part, you already know what's going to happen. This will break, okay? So use synthetic grease on this part. Use a lot. Use whatever you want to use. How much quantity do you want to use? And that it's done. So to assemble, just follow the backwards steps. You want to put this wiring through. On the right side mirror, you will have here the sensor for the outside temperature, and you will have also a wire coming out to this harness. It's just a matter of connecting the sensor again or removing the sensor altogether, whatever you want to do. Now at this point you want to make sure the wiring is not binding on any part of the mirror. Make sure these 2 wires are free to connect with the mirror again. And in here, make sure the wire is okay. It's in there again, passing through that small indentation. Sorry if sometimes my videos are a bit too much cuts, but I cannot record. Sometimes I cannot record everything in one go. Sometimes I have difficulties to speak English. I think it is pretty noticeable. So you have to make sure the wiring is free, even though I have not yet tightened the screws. Okay. So now you can tighten the screws. Try to make sure you are using the same thread, even though it's plastic, and you can actually create a new thread. The new thread will be much less stable, and it will lose binding force. So, for example, in this case, it is trying to create a new thread. I will back up a little bit, try to find, okay, the old original thread. And in this way, yes, I can tighten it with a bit more confidence. Okay, on the bottom side again, make sure again this is completely free. Okay, in this side as well. Now, the most difficult part. By the way, if you are doing this job and after you do this, your fuses for the side view regulator and some other stuff blows, it is because when you are doing this, you can actually wind your wiring on this part here. It can be chewed up like this. It did happen to me on the first years of working with this. So again, make sure this is completely free, and now you can start to put this together. These screws, because they are triangular instead of round, instead of cylindrical, you will notice like it seems like it's not being very smooth, but in fact it is a characteristic of these types of screws. And like I said, you should not tighten this with a lot of force, with a lot of torque. You can actually just torque it enough to feel if it is good. And after a few miles, if you see that it is not tightened enough, you can reach it with this assemble on the car and tighten it again. Okay, just like this, with no problems whatsoever. Okay, still free. Now put this, don't forget this, it is very important to protect it from sound and water and wind. Okay, and now the mirror. About the rattling problem, most of the times, 90% of the times, it's just these two Phillips head screw bolts that are loose. You just want to tighten this one and the other one in there. You have to remove this, like I told you earlier. And most of the times it is done. What also can happen is the plastic parts really are broken, and then you have to do some kind of plastic welding to fix that. But most of the times it's just a bit of tightening on the both sides and the problem is solved. To put on the glass again, you have to see where the fitment is. So you have these four holes over there. There are actually guides to this indentation there, and there. So you have to see if this way or this way. On this case, it only fits in one way. Connect your wires, don't forget that, if your car has them. You can put a little bit of Vaseline if you want on the wires. And now it's just a matter of fitting these clips on this round part. You should also use Vaseline on this. On this mirror presently, I will not do that. It is completely new. The parts are good quality, so I will not do that. But I urge you to use on your car. Use some kind of lubricant to try to fit your glass. So see if you can at least see the first one, the first guide, and then on the middle. Okay, it is done. Just like this. Force it on the middle, not on the sides. And so, here you have it, all assembled. On the retaining clip, if it is broken, in Portugal it's not very common, but I imagine on the other countries with more corrosion that can happen. If you go to a store that sells screws and bolts, washers and retaining clips, you can easily find these kinds of retaining clips. I hope you like this video. I hope you can consider subscribe and share with your friends. Also, on the description below, there is a lot of information that can be useful for you. I'm talking about playlists, links for the channel, for helping the channel, videos related to this one, and so much more information. See you next time, guys. Bye!